Richard Tucker. Under the influence of friends. Under the influence of friends, Richard Tucker.
Bartender! Bartender! I need a drink. What do you mean I'm already too drunk? Look, you don't understand. My nephew was a Marine. He just died in Iraq. I've got no money. Please, can I just have a drink? Thank you. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, that guy at the bar, that was my uncle. His dead Marine nephew, that was me. Under the influence of my friends, I almost became that guy at the bar. This is my story. How many of you have ever had a hard time making new friends? I know I have. Now, to be fair, it was tougher when I was younger, but then in college, I found my crew. In fact, you may know some of them. Let me introduce you to my liquid friends. First, Captain Morgan. He introduced me to the phrase liquid courage. With him, I felt like Superman, a supermodel, and a super speaker like nothing the world had ever heard, even in Toastmasters. And just like a pirate, I was bold, brazen, and brave under the influence of Captain Morgan. Then, that sweet green temptress of a friend, Margarita. She could convince me to do just about anything. Once, when meeting friends at a Mexican restaurant, she convinced me to run up an escalator that was going down in flip-flops. So when I tripped and those metal great teeth ripped open my big toe, whoo, yeah. She convinced me, we don't have time for stitches in hospitals. You put some super glue on your toe. We've got a Jimmy Buffett concert to get to. That was me under the influence of Margarita. Finally, the troublemaker, Bud Light. I was trying to watch my figure. So just imagine being on a warm tropical beach, stars in the sky, bonfire raging. Well, Bud Light and I decide we're getting kind of hungry. There's an ocean, there's a fire. We're going spearfishing. So I put on my fins, get my goggles, my flashlight, and my spear, and I jump in. And I'm swimming, 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 and I dive down until I find myself face to face with the bottom. Smash into it, my goggles are ripped off, I'm clawing, desperate, trying to find the surface. When I get there, that bonfire that was raging the size of a pickup truck was now nothing more than a tiny orange flicker way off in the distance. Somehow, despite the strong currents, the hungry sharks, and whatever else was in that inky dark water, I made it back to that beach in one piece. So that was me under the influence of Bud Light. It dawned on me that these crazy stories with my liquid friends were no longer the exceptions, they were becoming my new reality. I realized if I didn't change, I could end up that guy at the bar, desperate for a free drink. Now, speaking of desperate, my uncle would actually change his story depending on the bar. I could lose a limb, I could lose a leg, I could lose my life. Whatever would get him his free beer. Now, he wasn't the only alcoholic in my family. Far from it. However, he is the only one willing to fake my death for free booze. That I know of. Now, with the Marine Corps, I've been to combat twice. First to Afghanistan, and then Iraq. I've seen things I can't unsee. And I've been in situations where all I can credit is some divine intervention for my making it home in one piece. However, I knew, under the influence of my liquid friends, I could destroy all of that. That precious gift of life that we all share could be gone in an instant. I could end up a hollow shell of a man, drunk on a bar stool. I knew I needed to change. I knew what I needed to do. I had to say goodbye to my friends, Captain Morgan, Margarita, and Bud Light, for good. Now, it's been over a decade since I made that tough decision. It's still not easy. Do you know how hard it is to make new friends when you don't drink? When you avoid happy hours and networking events because you still don't know how to act when your liquid friends are there teasing and taunting you. Now, fortunately for me, what I gave up over a decade ago pales in comparison to what I've gained since then. So instead of Captain Morgan, Margarita, and Bud Light, now I've got my wife and my 3 little boys, Alex, Preston, and Gavin. I find myself under the influence of the love of my family. And as you all know, it doesn't get much better than that. In fact, when I first got married, I thought I was doing something wrong because I actually liked my wife. At least in the beginning. No, I'm just kidding. I still like you. Yeah. I challenge you. Take a hard look at your life. What influences you? Is there something, someone, a friend that's toxic? If so, make the hard choice. Do the right thing. You are worth it. Get rid of negative influences. Surround yourself with positive influences and be a positive influence in the world. Mr. Toastmaster. Well done. Thank you.